Hey there, Elon families. Welcome to another episode of Between the Oaks. I'm Will Robertson, Associate Director of Parent Engagement. And on this beautiful spring afternoon here at Elon, we're going to talk to Rod Parks, the University Registrar. Now, if you're like me, when you hear Registrar, you think of somebody sitting behind a computer entering students into class rolls. But as we'll hear from Rod, there's a lot more that goes into his job, and he impacts campus in many other ways, including leading study abroad trips and teaching classes. He's got a really interesting story that I think you'll enjoy hearing. All right, we're here with Rod. Rod, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, yeah. So you've been at Elon since 2013, I believe. Yeah, so
12 years.
A long time.
Yeah, long time.
And your main job on campus is the University Registrar.
That's right. Yeah.
And in looking at your bio, I'm not sure that it screams registrar. And that's a big reason we wanted to have you on the show today, to kind of talk about that. So grad degrees in social work, sociology, and a PhD in counseling.
Yep.
So how did you end up as a registrar?
That's the funny thing. I think people, they don't go to school for it. Certainly
Right.
counseling, I know counseling and social work kind of fits well with any job, but certainly, it's one of those things where you just take a lower level job that's related to being an assistant registrar or an office manager, and then all of a sudden you find yourself as a registrar at some school, and each school has one, and it becomes one of those unique jobs, in the country, and it's actually the second oldest job, behind president.
Wow, there you go. So for those people who don't know, who don't work in a university, what does the registrar do on a day-to-day? What does your job look like on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so we handle a lot of things here at Elon, and some of the things that we'll handle includes transfer credit, which is really important, especially to new students. AP, IB, those kinds of credits are processed through the office. It used to be registrars would be thinking about registration and transcripts. Registration is still big, transcripts not so much anymore, pretty much all automated these days. But registration, help the students with registration, make sure that we have good schedules of classes out, the academic catalog, we certify all the athletes, we write a lot of reports. It's one of those jobs, that, it's a lot behind the scenes, but it's one of those jobs that really keeps the campus moving.
Absolutely. So, but it's not, certainly not as your main job, but it's not the only thing you do on campus. I've heard you study abroad, teaching some classes. Tell us about kind of the other things that you do on campus.
I always tell people, the reason I came and stayed at Elon is because of the ability to kind of do a lot of things. We're a very innovative campus. We can do a lot of different things, and I've always had a love for teaching. And so, some of the courses that I teach include employee relations in the management department. I teach, sometimes I'll teach a sociology class, like an intro class. And then probably the biggest thing that I teach are the global education courses, one of which goes to Tanzania to climb Kilimanjaro, and then the other one during November, during Thanksgiving week, we actually do the Salkantay track to Machu Picchu.
Oh wow!
So a couple really fun classes. I tell people, if I'm gonna teach, I might as well teach the fun classes.
Absolutely. So, how did you get involved in doing, especially those study abroad classes? Like, how did it come that you're the guy that does these trips?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think military, probably. I was a pretty adventurous guy, in the military. But, being stationed overseas and seeing a lot of the world and everything. So that certainly had the drive to it. And then for the adventure therapy and counseling components that are part of the classes that I teach in the capstone area, those are from an experience of doing my social work degree. So I actually did all of my hours, to get my social work degree in adventure therapy, wilderness adventure therapy.
Nice. So you are putting those degrees to work
I
a
am,
little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Very good. All right, so kind of curveball question here. You've done a lot of traveling. What's the most unique place you've been?
Egypt.
Okay.
Yep.
Because of the pyramids, or because of
just because it's got so much history. It's got so much culture. You can really, the people are amazing. You can really embed yourself there. I was fortunate enough to be stationed there, so I got to know them really well and see a lot of the country. So I have a lot of passion for that particular country.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier your military service. Tell us a little bit about that, like kind of what you did and where you were.
Yeah, so I was a medic. First I was just a regular medic, and then I became a surgical technologist. So we would be the ones that would set up the tents in the field. We would be the ones that are working in the operating rooms and helping, the surgeon with various tasks and everything. After the first 4 years, I came back and actually taught for the Naval School of Health Sciences. So that got my passion up for teaching and everything, and had an adventurous spirit. So it just worked out well.
Wow.
So.
And you were in, I believe, Desert Shield and Desert Storm?
Yep,
Wow,
both.
so you got a
Yeah.
lot of experience.
I did.
Yeah.
People are like, you probably saw a lot. I was like, I saw a lot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Got to visit lots of exciting places.
I
it
did,
sounds like,
yeah.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
very good. And so another thing that that you're kind of known for on campus and you've received awards for and things like that is mentorship.
Yeah.
So what does that look like from your position? I know Elon's big on mentorship, whether it be staff to staff, faculty, student, staff, student, that kind of thing. So what does it look like from your perspective? And from
Probably
your,
a couple different areas.
Yep.
One is we hire a lot of student workers in the office, and those student workers play a pivotal role in supplementing and helping our staff do a lot of the duties and responsibilities. And so that gives me the ability to have some one-on-one conversations there in the office and be able to mentor them with both career and personal, professional development. They say my door is like a swinging door because they're always coming in. They like to hang out in my chairs and everything.
Yeah.
The other thing is research.
Okay.
So I do probably publish 2 to 3 articles a year with students. So we put them as first author, we do the traditional research, sometimes we'll do a research in brief, sometimes we'll just do a perspective piece, but we're very good about getting those published for the students and having undergraduate students that are published that want to go to graduate school. That looks really good to a bunch of professors.
So what kind of research are they doing? Is that the adventure therapy kind of stuff you were talking about sometimes?
All
or
over,
whatever?
yeah.
Okay.
We'll sit down and interview first, and we'll talk about, here's some higher education things, here's where the gaps are, here's some adventure therapy, so, research. If they're part of, the outdoor leadership major, we might do something on the safety of a ropes course or something, related to that since it's new for Elon this year. It just depends, on what the student has and their passion for writing. I don't want to take them through a traditional dissertation, but I want them to be able to feel passion because writing research courses can be very time-consuming and challenging.
Right, you better enjoy what you're researching. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, good. Well, one last thing we always like to end on is a recommendation. So, parents that come to visit their students from outside, a lot of times the students want to get off campus and either do something, go out to eat somewhere. Just a cool place that where would you recommend parents take their students when they come to visit?
Well, I'm a big hiker, so close, maybe 10 minutes away from here is Great Bend Park. So a really leisurely hike down by the river. It's got a great waterfall where the dam is. I'd go there, and the other thing, I'd challenge you on, and there is an old 1850s church on this campus somewhere. So take your sons and daughters and see if you can find that old 1850s church, that is on this campus.
Awesome. Well, he's laying down the challenge, and then so if they do it, they need to shoot you an email and
That's
let
right.
you know, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Very good.
I should say schoolhouse and church because it was a schoolhouse, too.
There you go.
So.
Very good. Well, Rod, thanks so much for joining us today, and thanks for all you do for Elon students, both in your day job and outside that as well. So,
it's a pleasure. Everybody come to the office if you need assistance. Happy to help.
Awesome. Very good. Well, we'll look forward to, thank you all for joining us so much. We'll look forward to seeing you next time on Between the Oaks.